Sup?
Oh.
Hey. Have you ever played with a corpse?
The fuck?
Have you ever played with a corpse? It happened when I was a little
That's crazy. The video just started. I'm just saying, like, how do you just open up a conversation like that?
You ever played with a dead body before? The fuck?
Yeah, weird ass.
Weird ass daddy.
What? That's so funny. Weird ass kids. Hold on. Oh, that's another thing. Because I'm so, like, I connect to a lot of people and I'm so, like, normal, I guess.
You're not normal.
No, I'm saying I'm so, like, relatable.
Okay, nothing about you is
relax. So, I fart on camera. So, I mean, if you have to fart, then
I won't. Not on camera.
Why?
It's private.
What do you mean?
It's private.
So?
You guys, I fart and I poop and I burp. And I have periods.
Just off camera.
And I once a month. Yeah.
So, if you're reacting to, like, let's say an hour-long video and you have to fart, you just gonna hold it in?
Nah.
That's what I'm saying.
I'll probably let it out really, really slow so that nobody hears it.
Nah.
And then I'll be like, I farted.
There's been a couple of times.
There's been more than a couple.
On camera, my Johnson's like, my farts are animated, but we're getting off topic. Let's get back to the video.
You see, it was in the
just before when I was about to enter kindergarten. I went to the small valley with my family, grandparents, and my relatives.
Fuck she got going on in kindergarten playing with a dead body. Sorry. Fuck.
I was such a brave child as I was too young at the time. Just relying on my little swim tube, I used to play alone deep in the valley water without wearing a life jacket and come out and eat watermelon.
Nah.
My siblings were a little older than me, but being scared, they didn't come in. So I always hid them and then went into the water to tease them. And the adults were sitting on a low wooden bench near the valley just watching us. After eating lunch, I got bored again. I think it was about after 5 or 6. I went back to the water to play alone. Thinking back, it was totally crazy. I was circling about with my hips crammed in a tube carelessly. I was in a situation where I might die right away if the tube flips. But I was just looking up at the sky and thinking that the clouds were pretty at that time. Then, suddenly, the center of my swim tube was shaken a little bit. That was the moment. A girl who looks like a middle school student suddenly grabbed.
What you got going on?
What you doing?
I mean, in kindergarten.
But you in a pool.
In the pool.
Or in a big body of water. You floating.
I wouldn't have been in a big body of water anyways by myself when I was in kindergarten.
You just...
Look.
Oh, that's what you doing?
Yes.
Look on me. Cluck?
I'm getting out the water. You don't play with strangers.
Or strange dead body.
I mean, I think that she thought that it was alive.
It could be.
Let's just watch find out.
Grabbed my arm. Her lips looked slightly purple, as if she had been playing in the water for a long
You
time.
think she's alive?
Then she smiled and said, as if she was reassuring me, "You're gonna fall off. Grab it tightly." She looked kinda older than me, and I was just excited about the thing that she's gonna stay and play with me for a while. So I grabbed the tube and then I swam with her. While she dragged my tube, I couldn't even realize what time it is now. I had so much fun with her. About an hour later, she started to take me to a shallow place.
Nobody else sees this?
She said she went to go get back in the water by herself.
Yeah, but like, how is it? Is it a pool?
No.
Lake?
It's like a lake, yeah.
Is the lake secluded? Is it isolated?
Yeah.
So nobody sees this at all.
First of all, she shouldn't have gone to get back in that water herself, and I hope she gets ass whooping later. Stupid.
She's gonna get a lot more than that. It's called a clock. Clock. Clock! Sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Did you know that was coming?
I had a feeling. I just didn't know it was going to be that loud.
Oh,
That's
that's not nice.
I'm sorry.
Anybody that's like mentally challenged, or has like a disability, she didn't mean that. So yeah, I don't think I've ever used that word before. I'm just, huh?
Cut it out.
I mean, yeah, no,
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
no. This is 99% of my videos are
I know.
raw.
I know. So bleep it out.
No, I'm saying, but that wouldn't be. You can't bleep it out in real life. That'd be weird. You can just run it back. I mean, it's okay. She didn't mean it. Heard.
The riverside. It's going to be cold soon. I'll take you to the adults, she said. But at that moment, my grandmother suddenly screamed and kept shouting my name.
Oh.
She was very old and she didn't even come into the water, but she hurriedly came into the water with her socks on and she lifted me up and then ran out. "Grandma, what's wrong? What happened?" I shouted. But as soon as I came out of the water, my family tried to cover my eyes so I couldn't see the valley. And my grandma was crying while saying that I was possessed by a ghost. I remember going to a temple or shaman's house for a while after that. A few years later, I asked my grandmother what happened that day, and what she told me was a pure shock. The moment my grandmother looked at the valley to see if I was playing well alone, she saw that I was talking to myself while giggling, and something black got stuck at the end of my tube and was wobbling together. Wondering what I was so funny about, she put glasses on to see me and that black thing. And at that moment, she saw that I was swimming around holding someone's black and long hair. Her heart sank, and as she decided to approach me quickly, she then saw the dead body slowly coming up. That's why she ran towards me. Now that I think about it, that memory didn't scare me at all, literally. However, I still can't forget the faces of those adults who saw the scene.
So the real question is, was it real to her?
Yeah.
Because the grandma, it was dead to her.
Yeah. It was real to her.
But it was dead to the grandma.
She has a cluck gene.
Huh?
She has a cluck gene.
Yeah.
Yep. She thought the dead body was alive and playing with her. He's a dead body, thinks it's alive.
But how was she imagining her talking about?
She has a cluck gene.
Enough said?
Yeah. You told me that it's not that.
What? It's a sign of respect.
Keep your respect in, buddy.
Oh, yeah? Heard.
Because if you wanted to kiss me, just say that.
I just did.
After you blew up my face.
I just did.
Stop acting like you get annoyed with me. Because you're not.
I mean, even if I was.
Captain.
Still stuck with you. Stop before YouTube.
This story is about my grandfather's experience. He died a long time ago. After he was declared dead at the hospital, we took the body home and put it in his room because my grandmother wanted to see him a little more before saying goodbye to her husband.
Okay.
But then something happened.
What?
2 days later,
God.
the room door suddenly opened and my grandfather crawled out asking for water. Literally, my grandmother and all of the aunts just fainted, and only my uncles and my mom were barely awake. And I was just staring at this weird sight because I was too young at the time. I gave my grandfather a whole body massage after I brought him.
Hell nah. You too young, so you mean to tell me, I feel like, because that's cut. Because hold on. How can you go from a whole dead body and then you talking about something, the door opens, hey, no, that's not like,
Hey!
at any age, you would think something wrong with that. Hey!
Not if you don't understand death that well, but I don't know how young he was to not understand death but then give his grandfather a massage.
I always understood that. Even when I came out, I was like, I'm alive.
No.
Yeah.
Cap.
No?
Cap. You just be capping just to cap.
Damn.
I know.
God.
You gonna fix it? Sorry.
Kids watch this.
Kids be saying some off the wall stuff in your comments.
They do. You got to say.
Water. And on that day, the house was in chaos. A few months later, I went to my grandparents' house again, and he was so lively that I couldn't believe that he's the one who once died. One day I was sitting with my grandfather eating ice cream, and he started to tell me a story. On that day, my grandfather woke up in the hospital.
What the hell going on? Your motherfucker is tripping. What the hell is he on?
First of all, why did they not bury this man?
He would have still got help.
No.
Oh, put him in the morning. We call it cul-de-sac. I want to say cul-de-sac. Coffin.
Yeah. And bury him 6 feet under the ground.
Why did they?
This man woke up. Why
Is
6
this
feet?
always 6 feet?
Yeah.
Why?
Because when you die, your body like starts to break down. And in order for like the smells and the bacteria to not affect what's on earth and the surrounding like trees, grass, flowers, and stuff like that, it has to be 6 feet under.
So, Lord, God forbid, it's like, 6 and like a couple of inches.
I mean, it has to be at least 6 feet.
Oh.
Why would anybody want to dig further than 6 feet?
I'm going to say something off camera. Okay.
Hospital, and he noticed that everyone was crying. He asked them why they were crying, but no one answered, so he was just standing there. And then a man in a black suit called him outside the hospital room. Without time to think, he began following him, and he started to feel a little bit sad rather than scared. The crying sound from behind gradually decreased, and as he walked along with the man, he could see the village where he used to live as a child.
Okay, so they're not.
There was a river at his feet that he had never seen before, and the river was really, really red. So he got goosebumps. The man was walking on the surface of the water, and he pressed my grandfather to come over quickly. So the moment he tried to follow him, he was also walking on the water. After crossing the river, he then saw a black wooden structure long past the wasteland. When he was about to pass the gate, a woman in black mourning came out from the inside and kicked him out, saying, "No, you brought the wrong person.
What?
If you want to live another 3 years of your life, go and ignore everyone you meet. Do not look back. Just follow the four-legged animal." The woman
3
said
years?
like this and disappeared into the house with the man. So my grandfather was going back the way he came. And then he saw one of his friends who had died a few years ago standing there. He beckoned him to come closer, but my grandfather ignored him, thinking what the woman had said just before, even if his friend cursed at him. After that, he met other friends, but he ignored all of them and just passed by. The moment he arrived at the river again, there was a bridge that was not there before. At that moment, he saw his daughter, who had died of fever when she was young, standing in front of the bridge. He could not ignore his daughter.
Oh, my God.
So he approached, and she stretched out her hand as if she wanted him to hold it for her.
Oh, damn.
As soon as he was about to hold that hand, something pulled on his legs. When he looked down, he saw a white dog that had been raised by him a long time ago was biting his pants and dragging frantically as if he should not hold that hand. It's like he was telling him to cross the bridge immediately. He stepped back from his daughter quickly, and that was the moment when she suddenly rushed to him. Her mouth almost ripped to the ear, and she repeated like this, "I'm going to catch you. I'm going to take you." She was running toward him with a rope in her hand, and it was horrifying. He started to run toward the bridge, and the dog was barking at the ghost and guarded behind him. As soon as he crossed the bridge, that thing vanished with loud crying, and the dog was still barking as if he was telling him to hurry. He looked back when he was far away from the bridge, and then realized that the river, the bridge, the neighborhood, and the dog were all gone. The surrounding area was as white as a sheet. It was the moment when he finally opened his eyes, and he found himself lying in his bed.
Coma?
Grandfather also told this story to his local friends, and the oldest man told him a story that had been told by a shaman. There's a ghost that brings the dead who met with violent death, and he suggested that the ghost that Grandfather saw seemed to be that kind of type. If ghosts lack a place to live in the afterlife, they would take the dead to build a new house. Anyway, after that, my grandfather lived really well for the rest of the 3 years, as the woman in the dream had said, and then he passed away while taking a nap on the same day he first died, 3 years ago. After that, I kept recalling my grandfather's lonely face while he told me his story at that time. My grandfather was not the type who originally believed in ghosts. While he was alive, he always cut the weeds around the grave and brought some drinks and snacks for the grave's owners whenever he saw the ownerless graves around his town. This, of course, is just my grandfather's very personal experience, so it's okay to think of it as just a novelty story, because he told me exactly the same thing. I guess he absolutely went to heaven, but I just miss my grandfather.
Wow, as soon as we got comfortable. Okay. So first story, what was the first story? I got caught up in the second story.
Yeah.
The first story was clucked.
She was clutching.
Wow. Jesus. You think she got possessed? Most likely. But the second story, so he was in a coma? Would you say?
No, he was dead.
He was dead?
He was dead.
The whole time?
They sent him back. He was dead.
There's
been times where people's hearts have stopped.
Yeah,
for
but
like a couple seconds. This is a different situation. Also, they're from a different culture.
But he came back.
That's somebody else. He's an old man who was telling them a folk tale. I'm talking about him. That's the grandfather. He was dead. He came back. See what I'm saying?
He was dead?
He was dead. He was Raps.
So he stayed dead.
He came back.
No, he came back living.
Yeah, for 3 years, and then he died.
No, he was dead, came back, then died again? Yeah. So he was in the coma then, the first time?
He was dead.
Oh, I'm confused. So he was dead, came back. What you talking about? He was dead.
Later. He was dead.
I'm still not
They
understanding.
took the wrong person. They're like, oh, you're not supposed to be dead. Boom. They declared his ass dead, and they brought him home. Like the boy's grandmother was like, his wife, the guy that died, his wife, said, well, let him stay at home for a little while longer. I know in some cultures they do that. Before they bury them, they let them stay in the house a little while longer.
Oh, no. Okay, I understand that. He was dead. I don't know why I'm not understanding this.
I don't know why either.
He was dead.
And then he came back alive. And then he died 3 years later.
So he was in a coma.
No, baby. His heart stopped.
But the old lady in the dream or whatever said, you're not supposed to be here. You got through. It takes me a little minute to process. They know this. You know this? Yeah, you know this. I don't know why you're acting. So he was dead, right?
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Right. Came back. No, he was dead. The old lady in the joint said, you're not supposed to be here. You got 3 years left. Came back. Died 3 years later.
Yeah.
So he was never in a coma.
No. Wow. He was dead, like I said.
Huh.
You're so sweet.
He was dead. Wow. Where was I at?
I don't know. You weren't watching the same thing I was watching.
I mean, I was. but it
Kinda
just
tuned
takes.
out. You got distracted.
Yeah, it took me a little minute. I did not know it was 104. Okay, wow, a 9-minute video turned into 20 minutes.
It's your fault.
It do. Sometimes I do that on some real stuff. Sometimes I do that so I don't get copyrighted. But I don't mean to over exaggerate. I talk a lot. But I was going to say something else, but I lost my train of thought.
But not both of the Marcuses wear glasses.
But yeah, keep it cool.
Keep it classy.
And I love you.
Stay happy.
Our family.